Hello boys, my name is Yoshi. This setup probably looks a little bit familiar to you. Yeah, that's right folks, we're back at it again, doing some more Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for Nintendo Switch. Rather than trying to continue on with our stuff though, we're going to focus on just finishing our maps, and that means doing the Great Sea map because this is one we kind of worked on quite a bit, but then we kind of left it off for quite a little bit. So, with that in mind, we're going to jump back into the Great Sea map. In the last video, I believe we finished lots of different stuff, including getting level 4 stuff, and more importantly, unlocking fairy food, farming. Yes, we actually went to the Grand Travels map, one of the hardest maps in the entire game. And we kind of made it look easy, too. We got through quite a bit of stuff, and we're able to unlock all the fairy farming stuff, so I'll pretty much show you what I have left. So, upon doing this, I actually found out something that's hidden. I'm not sure if I've actually revealed this or not, but I will show. You can actually see whether or not you have the requirement for a certain skill or not. If you see this icon appear next to the top, that means you technically can get that skill, which is quite interesting. This tells you how close you are to getting certain skills, meaning you can tell which one you actually have to reset and what you don't have to reset, which will be really helpful in particular for getting stuff like food done and other stuff, but for now I'll kind of ignore the rest of this. The important thing though is I did do some resets off screen, and eventually after refreshing multiple times I got the materials required to finally do stuff. So, I accidentally went out. So we're going to go into the dining room and actually feed up our fairy here, because if I set it up correctly, we should unlock 2 important skills that are really important. So of course we're going to not change his personality or name, which will keep it like that. And then we'll just feed her all the gratitude crystals we've collected. I forget how many you need exactly, but I'll do this for now, because, well, I don't want any of them to go back down. So we'll feed this at first. And if we need one more, I could just feed other stuff. Okay, so that's the first part, Magic Fountain. We also got some other stuff as well. Elemental Magician is new. Oh, actually, we did get it right away. Okay, so we only needed 20 of them. So by doing all that manipulation, we managed to get Magic Fountain Plus. Let's set that as a skill, because that is very important. That is, if not, one of the most important skills in the entire game. And also, once you get a fairy strong enough, so your trust builds up, you can start getting items at random too. So we just got Alana's hair clip for free, which is always nice. As for the other stuff, I'm just going to feed her enough items that I know of to get her to 99, so of course I get 4 more skills, and then actually probably try to do another reset along with this. We'll do quite a bit of these actually, because as you can see I farmed lots of stuff off screen, so I have the ability to do a lot of refreshing, but I don't want to do too much in order to take too long. So tell you what, I'm gonna do one more refresh, and actually wait, I need to check what exactly I am refreshing. So before this we have Aspire and Shrewd, Valiant, Reacts, and Eager. What does this next one require? Resolute, which would replace Shrewd. We need 225 of that, and Resolute. Good, okay, so we're gonna replace Shrewd with Resolute. That's what we'll do. Oh. I keep on going out on accident. This is really dumb. Okay. This is a bit of a time waste, but whatever. It's what happens when you don't get used to other stuff. Yes, we're gonna change this out. For, I forget what it was. Resolute? Yeah, it said Resolute. Yeah, it says Resolute. Let's, do that. I like how the next time it does it, it just gets much more better. as things progress. Okay, that one only gives me 2. This also allows us to see what food will be beneficial and which ones will actually hurt us. Okay, this one's good for now. Let's boost this one a bit first, I think. It's crazy how the tasty version of that powers up that one a bit more than usual. Okay, that gives us health regain, which is a nice safety. Not sure if that was a bit too much, but whatever. It's better to do it faster than it is to not do other stuff. And we're given another item. Alright. Now we have to go to the actual school. This is the more important thing. And where we get to actually set up our skills we just collected. The first one, Magic Fountain Plus, probably the most important one. And then we'll set up Hard Worker as well as something else. I'm gonna... May as well check through this while I wait. The attribute is overwritten by the fairy's main attribute if you use that in battle. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting. But I'm going to take Repair Technician and we'll finally go into this level, which last time I checked, we need Tingle for this mission. Let's go ahead and do that. And there you go. Magic Fountain Plus is so busted for multiple reasons. One, it could be used to get magic, obviously, infinitely, but it can actually be useful for something completely different, which we're going to show off in this battle. So we collected it from, like, the early game, and you're probably wondering how we actually use it. Well, if we go in here, use it, our magic will now be filled for quite a bit, and Tingle is the map maker, by the way, so he's who we have to defeat. But yeah, effectively, this turns our character into an enormously overpowered stun-locking based character. Meaning we can basically have what's normally a pretty late game kind of fairy food boost on pretty much every single fight in the game. It makes what's normally a pretty long, otherwise potentially longer and more tedious missions much quicker. Because instead of doing the regular strategy for these, you could just do this at the beginning of each instead. That'll weaken them up from which you can then do other stuff. I don't want to kill the other friends, by the way, so I'm using combo 3 instead. I think combo 4 is still probably better. I still think combo 3 is probably better, but I prefer to do this. If this was a defeat all enemies, then I probably would use combo 4 instead, which is Tingle's better move, but yeah. Now, this doesn't always last very long. As you can see, it already going away after a full minute has elapsed. But it is very useful, because it can be used multiple times with a strong fairy, which we have, and it effectively turns every mission we would normally have to take a long time to do, along with other tactics, into a piece of cake, pretty much. By the way, this Majora quest is very simple, because there's no repeat characters in it. It's simply defeating the main characters of Majora's Mask, and first defeating Tingle, then Skull Kid, then Young Link. Yeah, you're not gonna hit me with that, buddy. Oh, did not mean to use that, but that worked out, I guess. So much easier when you have fairy magic, by the way. There is technically a more riskier strategy I could do by not having Hard Worker, but I don't see why you wouldn't have it, because if you don't have Hard Worker on certain missions, it can be really difficult. Because there are some missions in the game that you can't avoid the don't get hit option, meaning you could actually die when hit in this game, but technically not fully. If you take damage, you'll instead be set to 1/2 of your health. Or I mean a quarter a heart left, rather. That's still pretty annoying because if that happens at the wrong time, you can kind of get screwed. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with any of that in the early maps, as well as some late game maps too. There's only a few places where you actually have to deal with it. Another pretty easy map, just whenever stuff. We no longer care about what exactly we use, by the way, in terms of either rather the weapon or something else. So as long as we either maybe try and use a weapon with heart power or otherwise the strongest weapon, it'll be easy. Absolutely easy. Oh, and these missions, this is where the game really gets interesting. Remember those 500 KO stuff, the thing I said that could be difficult at first? Well, now that we have this ability, we could just do this instead. Magic up, and just spam the crap out of this. You can pretty much do every mission now like this. And each time you do it, assuming you do it in the right location, you'll get around 100 enemies every single time you use this, meaning you will get stuff cleared in record time. It's absolutely amazing how busted this actually is. And all you do is really move into whatever corner is best, and say you want to change characters, you could just switch and have that character move to a different spot that has better enemies in it, and then just use the same thing with the other character. You could just keep on doing this until the fight just ends itself, and it's not even that difficult anymore. It's crazy how they expect you to kill all these enemies and even kill stuff like the Gomas and other stuff, but when you have something like this, you could just use this to kill all the enemies instead. I can just redo this again. And then, just less than a minute later, we're already done, and we don't even have to defeat any of the boss characters whatsoever. Which is good, because we want to get their materials later anyways. This turns what, in the original game, is actually one of the most, funnily enough, more difficult missions in the game, due to only having to clear this in 7 minutes for the A rank, which is not that long, and thus very difficult. Whereas this one, it's like, nope. We don't care, just as long as you do it right. It's pretty simple. Alright. But yeah. In this game, when you have Magic Fountain Plus, you could just turn those missions into like that. You could just beat them instantly. It's not even that bad. I actually didn't want to use Young Lake because he's really high level right now and I want to save his later. But to be fair, that was one of his items. We had to use him. But that's fine. Alright. And of course, I did buy a bunch of items off screen, though. That I actually did a little bit sooner. Okay, the KO competition ones are a bit interesting. Unfortunately, we can't speed them up, but we still have a efficient way of doing them. Let's see, he has his level 2. Let's go with this. Let's just go with that. And my secondary character this time, I'm gonna put Shiken. Why the heck not? We're not gonna use XP buff on this. Maybe later in a different mission we will use, actually XP Accelerator it is. XP Accelerator. To get some levels while we do it. Though, when that mission ultimately comes, we won't be able to do other stuff. Beyond that, though, I'm gonna defeat Young Link first, actually. Ooh. Okay, good. Whoa. Hello. Okay, now I'm gonna defeat the actual rogue forces here. Which I'm gonna do with magic, so it means I don't make magic as easy either. That is not the one I wanted. The only really good way to do this efficiently without being too trolled is to just do this basic strategy where you clear out all the rogue forces as soon as possible. Oh. Goodness, he is not even letting me attack. King Daphne's boat boy is not letting me hit him at all. But effectively, what you want to do is instead of dealing these missions the normal way, you want to basically kill all the rogue forces right off the bat, because then that gives you the opportunity to do stuff like this, where you use the giant bombs, and this allows you to get a lot of troops rather quickly. I probably should have used them a bit sooner, but it is what it is. And then, of course, the giant bosses show up. There is somebody missing here, unfortunately. It's Tetra. She's somewhere else. If we want to defeat these missions efficiently, we need to make sure we get a lot of KOs first. Since we don't need a lot of stuff, the only thing I'm really going to focus on these missions, since I don't need magic, I don't actually need to use magic for a lot of this. The only thing I'm really trying to do is, of course, kill the rogue forces in the beginning, because then they get less troops overall. And then I just take out the giant bosses and then kind of just chill from there. You don't even need to take out the giant bosses half of the time on some of these missions to win. Though you do need to do other stuff to beat them. Not sure if I'll get this or not. I'm still pretty new to Zen Severcac, so whatever, he did the thing that I wanted, but I'll still use magic just to make him fall early, because this is friggin' the Dodongo we're talking about. Actually, I could have also used Stream Crush as well. Bit late for that. All that, and I didn't even kill him anyway. So how about we just use it now? Because that is kind of bold. Okay, that's how we killed him. I don't know what happened there, but that was a bit bull. I'm not gonna lie. And for him, I'm going to just use Extreme Crush right off the bat. Also knock down Tetra as well. Poor Tetra. My apologies. But it had to be done. Oh. I think that was a bit early for Extreme Crush, so you know what? I'm gonna first do that. Oh, and Extreme Crush is immediately gone. I didn't know it was gone that soon. Guess I have to defeat him normally now. Extreme Crush I recommend using on Van Handel if you can. And he tends to be really trolly otherwise. Oh, I think that hit Tetra as well. Okay, there we go. Now Tetra's finally back. Alright, wait. I need to actually use my magic. Good grief. What am I doing? Now, we might take a decent amount of damage from some of these attacks, but so as long as we don't take too much, we'll be fine. I actually need to check that. Because it is really... Because keep in mind, we are still trying to A-rank these missions, so it is important that we don't take too much damage, and right now we are taking a lot. I might have to chill for a second or two. But I think as long as I defeat them one more time, we should be fine to just ignore them from now on. I think most of that damage might have actually come from Van Andel, let's be honest. Because Van Andel is a jerk. The big blends I could probably safely defeat. The others, not so much. The only reason I'm checking this is because I need a 149 or less. Otherwise, I will just lose the KO requirement. And that's what happens when you don't use the strongest character. Of course, once we get the bombs, though, it'll be really easy to actually clear the rest of this. In fact, when we take out these enemies, a series of low-level grunts will appear. I'm still not using that bombs properly. Okay. I should probably use this as well, just so I can use the activate a bit easier. Oh, I see now. So, the reason why I failed so badly is I should have used a fairy fountain during one of those times. It is what it is, though, I guess. Oh, jeez. I tried very hard to avoid that, and I still got hit. That thing has a lot of good range, and it's kind of annoying, actually. Alright. I'm gonna switch and use this right off the bat to get some KOs for free. And then I'll actually switch and activate... Actually, maybe this spot would be better. I did that just to be safe, but I think I'm gonna activate it more around here. And then magic for the rest of this. Otherwise, I don't actually need to do much. In fact, it would be more beneficial for me to not use magic, but I'm still gonna do it for safety. And then we'll just kill the enemies surrounding ZIS. Actually, I think there's something even better I could do. I could just do this. I could just do this to kill them. You know what? I should actually play safe. Normally, when I have more HP, I would play more aggressively and take out every single enemy, but when you get stuff like this, it'll get kind of annoying. One thing I guess I could do. Let's kill the captains while I still can. I like how it's just barely off of me getting other stuff. And here I was thinking, oh, I could just only take 1/4 hour damage for them, but that one doesn't care, apparently. I should have realized, by the way, up until this point, I probably should be killing captains, but oh well, there you go. We killed some. And then we'll just wait for the timer to end, because we want to still get the A rank. If you take too much damage, you'll actually lose the A rank, and as you saw there, King Daphnes is kind of trolly here, simply because he has a very annoying attack that hits multiple times, and in an area where you already buff him, that makes it not fun. But killing him is still really good. We think, not sure if we killed him a lot, but we did kill him a couple of times. So we should be able to get some rarer materials from him and Tetra here. Let's see what we actually get, actually. So we haven't gotten any Boat Boy materials whatsoever. Yeah, okay, we got King Daphne's crown, a key mask for... Oh yeah, Young Link was here. I almost forgot about that. And Tetra dropped to nothing but weapons, again. We do already have some of our materials, but I was hoping to get at least one of the other stuff. But there you go, we technically got a Boat Boy material, more known as King Daphne's, I guess. This is limited to Link. Not like I care. Link is very strong right now. Alright. In case you're wondering, I'm trying to progress to this spot. Well, not just that spot, but this spot up top right here. This hammer is required to get a couple of our items, which are then required to get other items to access our maps. Without it, you can't get the power placement. And it's required anyways to get to this boomerang, which is a very important item that is needed to remove Octoroks. Otherwise, it could be kind of tricky. Okay, I'm just going to use Master Sword with Link, and then we'll bring in Sheik again, because again, really needs some extra levels. And then I'll just bring Sia for the fun of it. Why not? Why not at this point? Having the legendary weapons gives you a lot more opportunities for which characters you should bring. Alright. Okay. With that in mind, let's see here. The only item we need... Actually, wait, no. There's two. We're defeating the barrier specialist for Ursa's, and the first item is in West Keep, the other's in West Boulder Keep. Well, that's pretty simplistic. So I just will do nothing with them at first, and just go straight for this enemy pack right here. Alright, and there we go. We're gonna start clearing out stuff again. Alright. Let's use this. Let's capture this one first. And then start trying to use magic manipulation to get the other stuff. Fortunately, there's no magic chest available here, which is a bit annoying. Because if I could try just one... Oh! I say that right as I find one. Perfect. Okay. Well, we're using that now. To kill the enemies here a bit. Okay, and then we're going to use Magic Fountain Plus around the side here. Oh. And there he goes. Alright. Take care of this. Which we need to take care anyways for the chests. And now the barrier specialists have appeared, but we can easily out with them easily. Before we go there though, we're gonna first go down here to get some more kills. So remember when I said it, you can get a lot of KOs using other stuff? Magic Fountain Plus is what actually makes this possible. Not only can you take certain things more quickly, but you can literally shred hundreds of troops in a matter of minutes. It's actually busted how overpowered this is. And it takes out a good number of troops too. That being said, in order to get the Feign ready that I need to first get ready to use Magic Fountain Plus, and then of course I have to actually use it on the right Feign quick enough. Because if I take too long, the barrier specialist will activate, but thankfully we've gotten all the items, so we do not need to worry about that. Just need to use this on here. And bam! It actually takes a really long time for it to go away. And now the barrier specialists just leave because they kind of failed their mission, so they're gonna leave. I like how it says the barrier specialists at the battlefield when really there's two of them there, which is a bit awkward. And now we just walk up and use the same magic on Volga here. And the Fairy Hunter also flees as well, more or less, because he can't do anything. Easy. Not even a challenge. I took him out using Cheek, of course, so I could get more experience for him, because she needs the levels more. I like that end message by Skulltulas about, like, let's play again sometime. Bye-bye for now. Just classic Skulltulas there. And our level 2 weapon found for Link's gauntlets. We already, I think, almost have the level 3 gauntlets anyways, but it's fun to get them anyway. We need to get all the weapons anyways as part of 100%, so why the heck not at this point. Alright. Okay, almost to the hammer. Time to remove the Great Sea Rule as well. Alright. Trample the Trickster Ghost Cane. There's literally nothing else to do. Okay. Well, in that case, we'll just play Sheik because he needs the experience. Well, this will be easy. Just speedrun the mission then. Just literally speedrun the mission as fast as we possibly can go, which is already pretty fast. Let's see here. Oh, great. It's rescue the Allied forces, isn't it? Or something else. No? Or wait. Actually, no, wait. I think I have an idea of what it might be. It might be escort the messengers. That would also be annoying. They're both doable, just really hard to do quickly. Oh, no. Oh, okay, never mind. It's just captains. So it's the one where, if, Allied captains flee, bad stuff happens. We can prevent most of that by just killing all the captains we see. Oh, yeah, see, now I see what we have to do. Alright. Well, I guess we're going to the right first, left first, obviously. Because the sooner, the better. Most of the time our this is just to get extra KOs, by the way. Because we do need a lot of them. And of course, they make certain fights easier. Oh. Again, can't really skip the captain's fleeing in this mission. It's almost impossible, really, to delete this mission without a captain flee at least once. So the next best thing you can do is either take out all the enemy captains or just take out all the main captains, in my case, which I'm doing right now. Because once you kill all of them, the effect just stops and you won't, your troops won't, oops, morale will no longer be boosted. Alright. Annoying. We still have to deal with that dialogue, even though we technically killed everything else. That's a bit annoying, but whatever. And it still goes through that, too. Oh, there we go. Now it's finally gone down. I think I defeated these so fast the game just couldn't catch up. Now it caught up, finally. Good grief, that actually took a bit longer than I wanted it to. I don't know if this is a key one. Oh, it's... Okay, so... Because we, Oh, I forgot this is also a barrier one. Not like I care. I could just do this. Alright. Skull Kid's almost done. Oh, great. My least favorite attack. There is a way to reset him, by the way, which I was attempting to do there. It's a bit easier if you have a second character, but basically if you move the screen so that it's off them, when they do that attack that makes them invincible, you can cancel that attack and then go back to them a bit sooner. It only slightly works better, though. It really depends on which position you're in, though. And yes, this is a pretty chill game in case you didn't already realize. Now, I could go to other maps sooner, but I actually prefer doing this map first anyways, because I wanted to get other stuff done first. As you noticed, our rupee till is getting really close. I want to actually not spend anything, because I want to see a rupee till hit the max, because I've never actually had that hat before. It'd be cool to do. Alright. Anyways. What is even there, honestly? Let's be honest. Because, it doesn't seem like there is a treasure that would make sense here. I didn't even see anything available anyway. Oh, wait. Maybe it was needed to get the hammer. I don't know. It's weird. And 3DS, by the way, if you are playing the game's 3DS version, which is where this map initially comes from, it would look a lot more different. Oh, it's not who I want it to be. I need him. Boat Boy. That's the nickname that the guys call from. Of course, I called him King Rella at one point because I got him confused with the king from Breath of the Wild instead of the one from Wind Waker. Because I haven't actually played the Wind Waker all that much, so yeah, it's confusing. Let's see. Fairy Fountain and Castle Keep are kind of far away, so how about I switch and command you to go right here first. Get that item over there, and then we need the item in Abandoned Fort as well. And then we'll do the rest of the mission with Sheik. And there we go. I'm not gonna try and use as many magics here, though I probably will still use quite a bit. Simply because I want to use more interesting stuff this time around. Yeah, Gold Cucco don't really care about. What I'm saying by not using this as much is, rather than using it a lot, I'm gonna focus more on just using regular attacks and other stuff to build up other troops. Because once you do use the magic, you tend to remove all the troops along with it. Okay. Alright, that takes care of all of that nonsense. Now for extra safety, we're gonna go up here and take out, our self, apparently. We're playing as Sheik and we're taking out Sheik. Interesting. Whatever the game says, I guess. Oh, we need the enemy base open anyways. That's right, there's a boss. And yes, I'm skipping all the animations because we've seen them multiple times. If we really need to, we'll see one later. We haven't seen King Dauphine's animation yet, though, and we haven't seen much of Tetra's animation, only seen it like once or twice, so I might show those again. Let's, do that. Okay, now we're gonna go over here and get the Abandoned Fort, and funnily enough, we're actually gonna play the rest of the mission with King Dauphine's. I said we might not use them a lot. Well, we need to use them anyways for 2 items, so may as well use them partially. Not all the way through. I might actually use Sheik for the boss, but whatever boss shows up. But that's about it. Alright. And we're gonna go here and use the magic here. Oh, look at that. Look at all the enemies advancing towards the base. We're gonna have to get them as well, probably. Alright. Of course, once you get the right setup, killing the enemy captains is not that bad once you have all the buffs on from fairy magic and everything. Okay, Riddle's the one going to Ardzes. So we're gonna have to say, get out of here. You not belong here. And by the way, we don't have to take out the gold Cucco at all. In fact, it's more often than not to ignore him, because he only attacks you very late in the game, and even then he has to eat a little bit first. Only when he reaches full power does he actually do substantial damage. So before then, if you could the mission fast enough, you just don't have to worry about it at all. Since I'm at the base, I'm gonna do things a bit more different. I know I said I wanted to do other stuff, but I think I'm gonna do things a bit differently. In addition to using boat play to do other stuff, I'm actually gonna use them to take out the commander. Yeah, we're gonna go in here and quickly kill Darunia, which we can kill using this again. This is why Magic Fountain is so busted, by the way. You could just use this on absolutely everyone, and it makes the battle a lot easier. The only thing I know how to use with him well is, of course, the haste. And that. But it did seem to matter. We did a lot of damage anyway. Okay, now we have the Helmrock Cane, and thankfully Sheikah's right next to it. So we can use that with a boost later if we want to. And yes, when King Deathdays uses a special attack, he also periodically gains haste, meaning all of his attacks will be slightly faster. Meaning he could pretty much get haste whenever he wants. Other characters need hasty attacks on their weapons, which is a 4,000 weapon skill that boosts your attack rate. I don't think I need this. Don't need that if I get lucky like that. I'm gonna do the safety version of this, just to make sure he actually gets out. You don't necessarily need to do this, but I prefer doing it, just because it makes taking out Helmrock Cane easier. And yeah, so I wanted to make sure I got the item. And there was no food as far as I'm aware. Food has to be gotten differently. That was not fairy food though, so we could just go on to the next spot. And then, now that we're kind of in this area, I think we're just gonna do the game more in a linear order, or map order in a linear order, just to make this easier. Because the next few map items we can get, we require most of them anyway. But anyways, the only simple reason why I'm going up top, though, is simply because this is the only way right now, as of the main game, to get a hammer, of course, and the boomerang. Without that, you can't actually do anything at all. Also, we need to use a Wind Waker here anyways. Alright, that's gone. Now we get Ganondorf's Trident level 2 from this. Oh my, it's true, so now things are gonna get interesting. Do I have his other level 2? No, but I don't care about his Trident enough. I'm gonna use his swords instead. I find his swords to just be way easier to use and better anyway. Oh, there's a My Fairy, but I think we already have full fairies, so whenever there's a fairy that you're supposed to get, you can't actually get it if you have max fairies, which I believe we have, so that one could be ignored, meaning the only thing we really need is Star Island Keep and Dragon Moose. Star Island Keep is right next to our start, and Dragon Moose is just up top. So before we do that, we should probably trigger this thing right here. Another one of those airy missions. What is it? Oh, turncoats. Yeah, I forgot. Turncoats can also be in this level too. I like how technically this is still an easy map and you're not intended to deal with turncoat soldiers this early. And yet this mission still, I don't care. We're gonna deal with you anyways. So that means every single keep we now have to take. Because if we don't do that, who knows where the leaders will be. If I remember correctly, the leaders in the early levels tend to be more closer to the actual base. So for now, I'm just going to go in and take all the keeps that I can. The reason why I hate these missions, by the way, is that they're just really annoying, more irritating versions of keep capture, where you have to capture all the keeps. But then after you capture the keep, you have to periodically stop to see if that one has a leader in it. And then when you don't find a leader, you have to move on to another keep. The only good news is the leaders are always in the same keep, so once you know where they are, just take out those specific keeps, and then once you see that message appear, just kill them as fast as you can. That's about it. Other than that, there's not a lot of other things we can do. I'm gonna wait until later to take out the other keeps, just because, well, it'll be simpler to do other stuff later. I'm taking these two specific ones because, remember correctly, in the early game, early versions of these, there tends to be more often than not a lot of troops going other stuff. So, we'll just go here and do other stuff. Actually, let's see here. Oh, darn it. Okay, that one does not have a turncoat leader in it. And I saw one appear from the middle, which meant that that is where the next vein is supposed to be. Oh, good grief. There's going to be so many troops by the end of this. That's really close to our base as well. And once we take this keep... Yeah, no way we're skipping the second one this time. What I mean by second animation thing, I mean like the second time they betray you. If you're really fast, you can skip that on some missions, and I have done it a couple of times, but fortunately not enough so far. Oh, okay, they're in there. Little known fact, any area that has a turncoat soldier appear from it by default will always have a turncoat leader in it, because they have to be receiving orders from someone, right? That means technically their leader is supposed to be in there. This means by default this one will have a leader once we take it. Of course, we have to wait forever messages like that to clear out, because otherwise we can't get that. But now that that's appeared, I haven't really done much attacking with Ganondorf at all, but I'll have to do some more later, because there's tons of troops back here that we completely skip, and we need to make sure they all die. I think this middle will probably work the best. Actually, I don't even need Jail Watch Keep. We're just gonna go over here. Oh, and this part too, where all the turncoat soldiers suddenly advance towards one Eritor. Because I don't like playing risky, by the way. I'm gonna go here and kill all the captains that we missed. Including these guys, because why not at this point. Did not see where the others were appearing. Oh, we got a unique message from Yevlate because this Ganondorf we're using against him. Alright. I'm just going around here and killing the captains to make sure they don't kill other characters, and also, yeah, that bullcrap thing in. What I mean by that, I mean, I need to do this really quick. I just realized something I can do. Just dodge out of these attacks and you can quickly use a strong attack to kill them. Is yet another alternative way to do stuff. Yeah, there's no way I'm protecting a Hylian captain. Not when it goes that frickin' far away, that's for sure. So we'll just make sure we kill the ghost as soon as possible. Interesting enough, because it lagged behind, it didn't technically give us the retreat. Yeah, okay, there we go. Now it did. Oh, that's a massive punishment, by the way. Just look at that. Hundreds of forces gone in a matter of seconds. Okay, well, they made that one a bit more brutal, I guess because it's later on in the game. And also, it's a pretty long way for him to retreat, should he happen to actually do other stuff. Alright, now we just need to go fast. I'm trying to switch it as one of the solar ones, just because, well, we had to do all that stuff, jumping all the way through the map to do tons of different things. But now we're ready. Oh, hello. He did an attack even though I was attacking him. We could use the Ganon Crush to make him a bit easier. So let's do that. Oh, cool. He summoned him kind of close. Oh, it's King Dodongo again. I do not want to deal with his bull crap. Making him fall over as a result. That is our main character, by the way. We should be fine. They are about ready to take out the boss, but if it's any lower, then that might become a problem. We did save her a bit earlier ago, but it's because of the turncoat soldiers. That's why she got so low, but we're done. Okay. Alright. We got that done, and supposedly we got all the stuff. I actually didn't see if we got this, which is the Elixir Suit. Wait a minute. Elixir Suit. We already have that item. We have that item from somewhere else, actually. I think from something else. I'll check if I attained it anyways. Not like it. I care. You only have to get certain fairy food once, by the way. You don't actually have to get it multiple times. That's something I should have told you. Like, once you have it once, you don't have to get it again. But, okay, I did get it anyway. Alright, so I got what I needed. Now to this area. Oh, yeah, this is the one where you normally can't get hit. This is why we came up here, is for the boomerang to get rid of that otherwise very obnoxious sea hazard. Lead a raid deep into enemy territory. I'm gonna use Sheik again. I don't know why, I'm starting to use Sheik a lot for these missions, simply because of other stuff. Oh, capture all barrier keeps. We could actually do that right away to save a bit of time. Since we don't have... Oh, I used the wrong thing like an idiot. I was supposed to use this instead. Alright, first part done. Now the barrier specialists appear, which are not going to do anything. Now we're going to use one more Merry Magic here. Easy. Not even a challenge. But you can just do that on everything. The game's not actually that difficult. It just teases you with being difficult if you don't have the right stuff. But once you have a decent amount of farm materials, it's not actually that bad. And because we're facing Sia, we get the Sia theme here. Whoa. Because I did that while he was doing that attack, it kind of caused a weird glitch-like thing to happen, but whatever. Okay. I don't know where to go for troops, but I'll start by taking out stuff here first. See if we can get magic. Nice. Don't have to use that later. Then up here, go over here. I'm gonna defeat these troops normally, for no reason or another. Alright. One thing I can do, I guess, to get more troops, oops, for the A rank is to just use this. Yep, okay. That worked really well. Okay, we got our 1200 KLs there pretty quickly, actually. When you don't have to go for any treasures, these missions sure speed up quite a bit significantly. Because of that, I'm interested to see what we could get from here. Alright. Oh, I said, I guess what I meant to say is I wanted to check my time, but I didn't see how long it took, actually. Oh, I just realized we can't go in over that way anyway. Well, that's fine. I need another boomerang anyway. So we're gonna do this. Now, that's just a shell, by the way. Nothing unusual about it. Many people think that probably is a item, but not the case. Alright, we can get Link's level 2 rain here, but not good time for that, actually. It'd be better to end the episode right now, actually. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!